I still remember the first time my grandmother took me to an old age home. I was just a kid, holding her hand, watching as she handed out warm bread and soft puffs to elders sitting at the church. She had this way of making people feel seen, feel valued. It stuck with me. Even as I grew up, when I picked up my first pair of scissors and fell in love with hairdressing, that lesson never left me. Years later, I found a way to combine my two greatest passions, riding and hairdressing, into something bigger than myself. It started quietly. I'd ride to an old age home, sponsor a lunch, donate some essentials, maybe even offer a haircut just to bring a smile on people's faces. Then one day, I had an idea. What if I took this further? What if I rode across the country, cutting hair along the way, raising funds for causes that needed it the most? And that's how Pretty Damn Good Adventures was born.
The road calls to me again. After everything, the smiles, the stories, the moments that changed me, I knew I wasn't done. Leaving Bangalore again felt different this time. There was a sense of purpose, a deeper responsibility to keep going. The funds we raised, the people we met, the bonds we formed, it all had to continue. My Thar was loaded up, carrying donations of clothes, shoes, sports equipment, and laptops. This time, we were headed for Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Nepal with the same mission. The first stop was Hyderabad.
So we've just reached my first client's place where I think 4 or 5 of them will be here.
This city had always been special. In just a few days, we raised 35,000. Enough to make a real difference for the kids waiting for us up north. From Hyderabad, the road took us to Tadoba, where Red Earth Properties welcomed us like family.
Hi everyone, so we are headed off to the spa room to do some haircuts now. All my guinea pigs for this evening. I'm not a professional stylist. I don't know cut hair, so they're all running away.
Delhi was unexpected. A simple request to a friend's mother for 5 haircuts turned into something much bigger. She printed banners, organized a full-fledged event at a local salon, and invited everyone she could. The community showed up in ways I never imagined. Local leaders, market heads, even politicians came forward to support the cause. As the day wrapped up, I got a call from Dehradun. A school there, Jori Basic Primary School, had been struggling without a working water purifier. That night, I put up a simple Instagram post. By morning, we had raised not just enough for the purifier, but for sports equipments, clothes, and other essentials. When we arrived, the children swarmed us. We played, we laughed, and when it was time to leave, they clung to my hand, pleading, "Come again, sir." And I knew I would. Next was Banbasa, near the Nepal border. A biking friend, Veena, introduced me to the Good Shepherd Agricultural Mission, a place like I'd never seen before.
So my name is Clifton Shipway and I'm the director here at the Good Shepherd Agricultural Mission.
More than just an orphanage, it was a home built on 4 pillars. Home, education, rescue and relief. The people here were warriors, raising and mentoring children who had nowhere else to go. By the end of the first day, I knew a short visit wouldn't be enough. I stayed for a week. At the Sikkim Himalayan Academy, we met kids who, despite having so little, were overflowing with love and generosity. It moved us to see how former students came back during their holidays to help teach, clean and cook at the school. We had raised 30,000 rupees, but we knew we could do more. So the next year, we came back with 10 laptops, all thanks to the kindness of our friends, clients and fellow bikers. In Arunachal Pradesh at the Zero Valley Festival, we set up a makeshift salon to raise money for the indigenous community. Each snip of the scissors meant another meal, another school book and another chance.
A glacial lake outburst flood or gulf has caused widespread devastation in Sikkim. The flash floods claimed 14 lives and left hundreds of people missing, including 22 army jawans. 4 critical bridges have been severely damaged in Chungthang and Mangan areas. Search and rescue operations are currently underway.
While I was in Assam wrapping up my last leg of my tour, Sikkim was hit by disaster. The glove floods wiped out homes and left people stranded. I felt so scared and shocked by the devastation I was witnessing, and I knew I had to help. I posted on Instagram asking my community for help in raising funds, and in less than 3 hours, we raised 80,000 rupees. At SHA, we had something special for the kids: laptops, headphones, and iPads, gifted by our incredible community. The meals were sponsored, the games we played, the laughter we shared. They showed me a different side of life, their side. Later, at the Ahora Foundation, the atmosphere was different, just as powerful. The girls, many of whom had been rescued from unimaginable circumstances, welcomed us with open arms. We shared stories, danced, and laughed together. Their spirits was unbreakable. One girl in particular told me how she dreamed of becoming a karate instructor, but their classes were on the verge of shutting down due to the lack of funds. That moment struck with me. A few months later, with the help of our supporters, we raised 68,000 rupees, enough to fund their training for an entire year. Crossing into Nepal felt like stepping into the unknown. New faces, new challenges, and new sense of purpose. Upon noticing my packed donations, a border security force suspected I was smuggling goods. Despite my explanations, his skepticism lingered until an Indian officer intervened. "What you're doing is God's work," she said. "Next time, just bring an NGO letter." With those words, the tension eased and the journey pressed forward. Then came the first major stop, the Panchtar district prison. I had hoped to offer haircuts, but when I arrived, there I found out that a new warden had been assigned to the facility, and he revoked my permissions. The next day, we visited a larger facility in Ilam, housing over 140 inmates. Thanks to my friend Palina's connections, the process was smoother. I was permitted to offer haircuts to the prisoners, but we were not allowed to record any footage. I met prisoners who held on to hope despite their circumstances. They thanked us, not just for the donations, but for treating them like human beings. From there, the road stretched towards Bardia National Park. The Wild Planet Eco Retreat became home for the next few days, where I met passionate individuals dedicated to protecting Nepal's wildlife. One day, we ventured deep into the jungle, arriving at an orphanage at the Edges Park. The children, some as young as 5, had grown up with little, yet their smiles shone bright. It was a reminder that joy doesn't have to be hard or complicated. As the journey continued, Surket called. Stepping into the Kapila Valley Children's Home, I was given a tour by one of the older boys, while the younger ones excitedly hovered nearby. I spent the afternoon cutting hair alongside Dada Birinder, a local barber with a lifetime of experience. The next day was a celebration. One boy, no older than 13, moved across the field with exceptional skills and agility, a mini Messi in the making. Such raw talent, I couldn't help but dream of him playing the big league someday. Leaving Nepal was bittersweet. The journey back to the border was slow, and by the time I reached, the Indian flag was being lowered for the day. Standing there, saluting the flag, I knew one thing for certain. This wasn't the end. The road would call again, and I would